TJ Technologies is proud to sponsor today's Farm Basics. Micronutrients are essential for healthy and productive growth in lawns, gardens, and crops. Check us out at tjmicromix.com because it's the little things that make a big difference.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk about Green Bridge. What's that, Darren?
I love this farm lingo, Brian. You know, it's one of those terms that you may say, wow, that sounds kind of strange. What is a green bridge?
But are we just painting a bridge green? Or?
No. As soon as you
understand...
Is
it an environmentally friendly bridge?
Oh, Brian, some days you're so frustrating. But when we're talking about a green bridge, what that involves is leaving plants in the field as a host for insects, diseases, and other things from one crop to the next. So you kind of need that time where everything is clean out in the field, and most of the time that's winter, Brian. In our part of the country, you get winter in between, you harvest a crop in the fall, then you have winter, it kills all the bugs and disease, and then you can start fresh again in the spring.
Yep, well that's great, but how about the fall planted crops? Let's say that you're going to seed winter wheat this fall and you had a crop in there earlier this year, maybe you just had fallow in this year. You've got to make sure that prior to seeding that winter wheat, you've got 2 solid weeks where there is nothing growing out in the fields if you want to reduce the incidence of disease and insects like Darren's talking about.
Well, when we're talking about wheat rotations where we've got a fall seeded crop of wheat, many times that crop is getting harvested in the summer, and in the case of 2010, that summer was wet with a lot of heat and a lot of disease problems. And if you don't have that time period to get that disease out of the field, you just carry that right into the next crop, and if you don't get a good start in the fall with a fall seeded crop, then you do get winter and you've got a weak plant and you're going to have a disaster on your hands.
Yep, so talking specifically, we said diseases and insects. Why are they going to be more common if you have that green bridge there versus if you have everything dead for a couple of weeks?
Well, because those diseases really don't move. They're in that field, and if you can take care of them and clean them up in that field, now you can start fresh again. With insects, if you
can in other words, eliminate the host.
Yes, you're eliminating their food source. So if those insects don't have anything to eat in your field, well, they're going to leave.
Yep, insects or diseases. So the whole point with our green bridge talk today is the green is anything that's living out in the field, any plant that's living, and that could potentially host diseases or insects that could damage a future crop.
Well, this just isn't a problem in our country or in the upper Midwest or just for wheat guys. It's nothing like that. This is a problem around the world when we're talking about cropping systems. For example, Brian and I were down in Mato Grosso in Brazil, where they can basically raise crops year round. Yep. And what they were having trouble with is soybean rust. They would plant a soybean crop, in September, October, in the fall, and they'd harvest it in February, March. Well, then what are you going to do? You've still got a decent climate. It's still 70, 80 degrees at least every day. Well, this is great. We can raise another crop. So some guy said, man, our soybeans are profitable. Let's raise soybeans again. And here we go. If you had a little bit of rust getting started in that first crop of beans, you plant another crop of beans right away in those same fields. You're just asking for trouble. So what they ended up doing in Mato Grosso is basically outlawing having soybeans out in your field, even volunteer soybeans that maybe your combine or your harvesting machines dropped a few seeds and they sprouted and started growing through the summer. You have to kill them too, because they could act as that green bridge to let diseases and insects get into the next crop.
Well, once again, managing a green bridge or the destruction of the green bridge is important on many farms around the world. Another thing that's very important is weed control, especially if you've got our Weed of the Week. We'll tell you how to stop it later in the show.